All right, guys, let's see. Can everyone see me? All right, welcome to the first ever live stream of the Cruise and Nurse Travel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ashley Neal. I'm a registered nurse and travel agent. And I just thought I would try this out. I've been doing YouTube videos for a while and they've been doing pretty well. So I thought I would give it a go and see what it was like to do some live and kind of take some questions and give some cruise news and some deals that I have going on. And just see what you guys think about it. If it goes great, we'll do it maybe once a week. And if not, well, no harm in trying. So yeah, I'm Ashley Neal. I'm located in St. John, New Brunswick. I have a travel business that I work with. Most of my business is done over Facebook, and you can see up in the top corner of your screen, you'll see a little QR code, and that's actually a link if you want to scan it to my Facebook page, which is where I post almost all of my cruise deals. There's also a website if you'd like to check that out. It's thecruisingNurseTravel.com. So that is the website. And then I have Instagram and TikTok, but they're more so just for fun. Kind of when I'm on a cruise ship, I'll take some video and post there. But most of my educational content is going to be here on YouTube. And my cruise deals, as I say, will be on my Facebook page. Also in the description here, if you want to look, I do have my email address there along with the link to my Instagram and Facebook page and website. So I just thought I would start out with asking, where's everybody from? Like, are you from New Brunswick? Are you from Canada, United States? Where's everyone tuning in from? Let me know in the chat. Oh, you can see me? Okay, good. Want to know some tips and tricks for cruising with kiddos? All right. Well, with kids, there's a few different options. All the ships kind of have something to do for kids. It depends on the ages. Younger kids, you might want to look for a cruise line that has really good kids clubs, which most of them do now. Most of the cruise lines that I deal with are MSC, NCL, and Royal, all of which are known for their kids clubs. And if you have any kids with special needs and whatnot as well, it is important to note that NCL actually has an autism. All their crew members are specialized in autism. They have training. So that's actually something interesting to know. Royal Caribbean has a lot of stuff for kids to do. They have everything from rock climbing walls to Flow Rider, which is like a surf, kind of a surfing type activity you can do on board. They have things like dry slides, lots of water slides, carousels, lots of food venues for kids. I think the bigger ships for Royal are almost overwhelming in my opinion. I think if you're going to go with kids, especially if you've never cruised before with your kids, maybe going to the higher end cruises like your Utopia of the Seas, Legends of the Seas, and those kind of ones, the really big, massive royal ships, may not be your best bet to start out with. I'd probably go with more of an Oasis class, like Harmony of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas. Those ships are going to be kind of middle of the range with lots to do for kids. There's also Norwegian, which has go-karts on some of their ships, on the Prima, the Joy, the Encore, I believe. That's not included, though. It is $15 a rider per time, so that's going to add up quickly if your kids like the go-karts. But again, they have lots of water slides, lots of activities to do. I think Royal is really known as the family-friendly kids ship. So if I was going to go with kids, I think I would look at that. They're more on the expensive side compared to Norwegian and MSC, but they would be a really good kid ship for sure. All right, so Suzanne is tuning in from St. John. Hi, Suzanne. Sue is in from St. John. And you're wondering when's hurricane season. So hurricane season is anywhere from around June until like the end of October, is when you really have to kind of watch. Most times, most of the hurricane season is hitting in September, October. especially if you're sailing kind of Eastern Caribbean and things. That's when you kind of run into the itinerary changes and delays. So like last year, there was the Aqua that ended up going instead of to Bermuda. It was diverted up to our home port of St. John, New Brunswick. So that was a little bit disappointing for some of those that may have been on the cruise ship, thinking you were going to Bermuda, ended up in St. John. But that's just a risk you take when you go in hurricane season. You may be diverted to a different port that you weren't expecting to go to, but you still are on a cruise ship. And if you're sailing in hurricane season, then you kind of take on that risk. You kind of, know that it's hurricane season and there is a risk of being diverted. But your prices during that time are going to be a little bit better too. So you kind of just have to weigh your pros and cons. I've sailed in hurricane season before and I've been just fine. So it's really just a luck of the draw if you have a hurricane or bad weather or you have great weather. So just something to think about when you want to sail that time of year. You almost have to expect that it potentially could happen. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah, I think I just touched on that a little bit there. So hurricane season, it will be a little bit cheaper. Other than that, I think summertime seems to be, which is crazy to me. Summertime seems to be more expensive than, say, your wintertime pricing for cruising. There, I have some clients that are teachers, and with the summertime off, that's really the only time they can go for extended periods, except for if, March break, Christmas break, which are usually astronomically priced, both for flights and cruises. So in the summertime, I've priced a few of them, and they do seem to be quite more expensive in the summertime, even though, it's just, I don't know why, but it does seem to be more expensive. I don't know if it's because everyone is off school, so they're expecting an influx of people, so they jack the prices. Not really sure, but that does seem to be a more expensive time of year is the summer. So I just wanted to maybe get into some of the cruise news that was new this week. Norwegian Cruise Line, they have recently had a lot of pushback. They have the Great Stirrup Cay, which is getting some upgrades. They're getting a new port, a big resort style pool. They're getting a water park. They're making it kind of like the same as Perfect Day at Coco Cay for Royal Caribbean. They're really adding a lot of money and activities to their private island. So what had happened was they were going to not honor the beverage package. So if you had a beverage package on the ship, they were not going to honor that on their new private island once it was all upgraded. They were going to get you to actually purchase a higher package to have your beverage package work on the island, along with some other perks as well. So I'll get into that. But they met a lot of pushback. That people didn't like it. They really thought it was kind of just getting some extra money from their passengers, and people really didn't like it. So they did extend it for March, and I think that was just the time frame that they were kind of feeling it out to see what they were going to do. And they have since come out with a statement that they are no longer going to require you to buy the higher end package for your beverages to work on the private island. So I think this is a great move, really, because if you buy the beverage package, it really should work on the private island, in my opinion. Now, in saying that, their upgraded package, the Free at Sea Plus, I really do think there's still some value there. I know when I'm sailing in May, I'm going on the Prima, and I will be going to Great Stirrup Cay. And I upgraded it because the internet alone, if you have any interest in having unlimited Wi-Fi, that is $250. I'm talking Canadian prices here. $250 Canadian to upgrade that to unlimited per person. And also your daily gratuities. You're going to pay those anyways. And those two things alone are about $400. And the upgrade to Free at Sea Plus is $490 Canadian. So really, in the end, I think it's worth it because I want the unlimited internet, because otherwise you only get 150 minutes per person for a week. So, if you're going to be using your internet, it's not very much. So I like it for those two things. For the upgrade the internet, you're paying gratuities anyways. Also, the upgraded beverage package, it actually gives you bottled water which is not included in the basic package. You have just the fountain water at the buffets. So I like that. And also, it's going to give you a Starbucks card or unlimited Starbucks. So you can actually go and get your coffees in the mornings. It's limited one coffee per transaction per guest. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if people get 3 and 4 lattes at a time and bounce around, but it is limited. So one per transaction. And that in itself is worth a lot. I mean, a Starbucks card, if you look on their websites or look on your upgrades for excursions and stuff on your app, I mean, you're looking at probably $100 value right there. So I think that's worth it. And also, if you're into specialty dining with that package as well, usually most people on a 7-day cruise, if they have dining included, you're going to have 3 specialty dining meals. So with this package, the Free at Sea Plus, you have the option that you can go and purchase more dining. Say you wanted to go to the steakhouse and you didn't choose that in your 3 nights, you can actually purchase that for a 2-for-1 deal. So you get 50% off any up and above specialty dining, up and above your cruise package that you have included. So I think that's nice. So even if there's a restaurant that you're not sure about, maybe you're not sure about the seafood restaurant, but you want to try it, this is a great way to actually try different options without having to pay the full cover charge for both people, because it can get expensive. It can be, anywhere to $100, $150 depending on what restaurant you're going to. So, I mean, I think it's worth it. Like I say, me personally, I have actually upgraded for my cruise in May. And that's what I like to tell clients, decide what's important to you. If you don't care about the internet, you don't care about bottled water, Starbucks coffee, any of that, then it's not worth it. And you don't have to do it, and that's fine. But it is good to kind of price compare to see if it's worth it for you. And also, the new pier they're doing, they're finishing the upgrade. So what they did, they just made a statement about this as well, is they kind of made the pier functional for the winter months, because that is when the tender boats, when your port was getting canceled because the waves were too big, the weather was bad, and you couldn't get the tender boats over to the island. So they made kind of like a half-done pier up until now. And now that the weather's getting better, they're returning to tenders on April 1st. So this is when this is going to start, April 1st, and it's going to go until about July for them to finish the whole pier. So anyone that is sailing from April 1st to July, myself included, you have to be expecting that you are going to be tendered over to the island. So this is something to be aware of. So when I'm on the Prima in May, I will be doing that, which is unfortunate, but I understand why. So we will see how that goes. And one more thing here as well is a triple up. The triple up is starting on March 24th to the 29th. So any of my clients, I'll reach out to you, the ones that have Cruise Next credits. I know who you are, so I'll reach out. But if you are booking a cruise, what this means is if you have purchased Cruise Next credits on your cruise, you can only purchase this on a cruise, then you can apply 3 to a balcony or higher. They have this option about every 3 to 6 months usually, that you can add 3 coupons. So that's actually a really good feature. So anyone that actually has these Cruise Next credits and want to book a sailing, just reach out and I can walk you through it, and we'll get something booked for you. All right. How much do shore excursions tend to cost? Well, it depends on what you're doing. I'll use my cruise in May for example. I'm going to St. Thomas, Puerto Plata, Tortola, and Great Stirrup Cay. So I was looking the other day at a beach excursion. I wanted to go to Megan's Bay or Sapphire Beach. I wanted to do a beach day. And when I was looking at them, they were about $120 a person, Canadian. This is Canadian dollars, for this excursion, for a beach excursion. So what that gets you is really your transport to the beach from the ship. You get 2 or 3 hours usually at the beach, and then they bring you back to the ship. So when you're booking these excursions, they're a little bit more expensive going through the cruise line, but you do get the added benefit of they will get you back to the ship, and the ship will wait if you're delayed getting back. If you book them by yourself independently, you are going to get them for cheaper, 100%. But if you get stuck somewhere, if your taxi breaks down, if something happens, the ship will not wait, the ship will leave. You'll be one of those pier runners that people take YouTube videos on and watch running up to the pier. The ship will leave and people will be waving and laughing at you. So you have to kind of keep that thought. And it depends on what you want to do. Like there's ATV options. It depends on where you're going, but I think they're usually, I think a rough estimate I would say is probably between 100. You're looking at $100 to $200 a person, Canadian dollars, for really any excursion that you're looking to do. So they're not cheap. You don't need to do an excursion every port. A lot of the ports now actually have resort-style pools right at the port. So Puerto Plata, for instance, has a resort-style pool. Lazy River, bars, restaurants, all right at the pier. So does Costa Maya. They have a big pool. They have lots of shopping, some restaurants, everything right at the pier. So there's options to not have to actually leave the port as well. So I tend not to book very many excursions when I hit those ports because you can have like an excursion day without actually paying for the excursion day. So that's just something to think about. What is a tender boat? So what this is any island or port that doesn't have a pier that you can dock the ship at, you'll actually like anchor or stop out in the ocean, and boats will come out and take you off the ship and bring you into shore. So that's what a tender boat is. They actually are smaller. They're almost like taxis, like water taxis, essentially. And you get off the ship on these boats and they bring you over to shore, over to the port. And then at the end of the day, they bring you back to the ship and get you on the ship. So that is what a tender boat is. It's a good question. Not everyone would know that. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, oh yes, I put out a video yesterday about some lawsuits and stuff happening with cruise lines. And I was kind of curious of what everyone thought was, if you go on an excursion, like there was the person on an ATV went on an excursion, the ATV flipped, they got hurt. Someone slipped on the pool deck, broke their leg. They're having a lawsuit. And someone was doing the flow rider, which I talked about earlier. It's like a big surfing thing. You're essentially surfing on a cruise ship, and they broke their neck. So those are all very unfortunate things. Don't get me wrong. But there was another one that was reported today from Carnival. So they're getting involved now too. So it was Royal and Norwegian, and now Carnival's getting involved. So someone, I guess, was on an excursion, and they were sitting on a bench on the boat going to the excursion, and the bench broke, and they fell into the boat. And so there's a lawsuit going on with that now. So I don't know if it's becoming a bit overdone, but I feel that, if you go on an excursion or if you do something that's of any type of risk at all on a cruise ship, you really should assume some of that risk and some of that blame when something bad happens. It's just bad luck for the most part. I mean, slipping on a pool deck, yeah, that I can see that. But the crew members they work awful hard. Like they're always, squeegeeing the decks, and people are in and out of the pool, and drinks are sloshing around, people walking around. They do their very best they can. That's really the only one that I feel, could potentially, yes, be maybe a lawsuit. But again, I mean, you're walking around a pool deck and it's going to be slippery and wet. You have to, use some extra caution, I guess. But yeah, it's just starting to become overdone a little bit, I think. But let me see here. Are the non-specialty dining rooms just the buffets? No. So the non-specialty dining. So when you're on a cruise, the specialty dining is something you have to pay for. Otherwise, you're going to have a main dining room. So you can eat there every night. And it's a 3-course meal, sit-down meal. You have a waiter, they come to you. It's a different menu every night. So you can order your like your appetizer, your main, and your dessert. And that's all free of charge. That's all included with your cruise package. So that is on every ship. Also, there are some kind of grab and go options. I know Royal Caribbean has the Garden Cafe, which is a grab and go option. They have the hot dog place, Dog House, I think it's called. So that's all included. And so there's other options. You don't have to. Also on Royal Caribbean, to be honest, I just found this out on my last cruise. I didn't realize Johnny Rockets is a paid restaurant for supper, but you can actually go there for breakfast and it's free. So I didn't realize that until like the last 2 days of our cruise, so I didn't actually get to try it. I did go there for supper and paid for it, but that's a little tip you could, if anyone's traveling on Royal Caribbean, try Johnny Rockets for breakfast, and that'll be included. So that's actually something good to know. But yeah, there's lots of other options that you don't have to pay for on a cruise. There's food everywhere. There's also like on Royal also there's Sorrento's, which is a pizza joint, and that's all included as well. You can go there. I think they're open till 2 or 3 in the morning, and so that's a great place. I still think MSC has the best pizza, though. That's just my opinion. Do you have to dress up for specialty dining, formal or casual? So this has actually hit the news recently, too. So most cruise lines, they just want you to dress nicely. They don't want you to have, profanity on your shirt or, wearing, I don't know, like bathrobes and pajamas to the specialty dining restaurant, slippers and stuff. I don't know why anyone would ever do that, but that's actually in the news release. So apparently people do that. But they want you to dress nice. If a woman wears like a nice tank top or a nice shirt and a pair of jeans, no holes in them, and a nice pair of sandals or something, and the guys wear a nice t-shirt or a golf shirt and some nice cargo shorts or golf shorts or something like that. I mean, they're not going to turn you away for those things. Norwegian again tried to enforce a dress code, so they were going to make it so that you had to wear like dress shirts and fancier things. And again, they met a lot of pushback, mostly because they are kind of like like their slogan is "Come as you are, be comfortable, relax cruising." So that met a lot of backlash too. They've had some rough go lately, but so they took that back again. And all you have to do is wear what I said. Just wear nice clothes, just look nice, and they won't turn you away. I mean, really, that's all you have to do. And as far as the buffet and things, you can wear whatever you want. I've seen people walking through there in bathing suits. So pajamas, robes. So to each his own, but yeah, it's specialty dining. Just look nice. That's all you have to do, and you'll be fine. You won't be turned away. One more thing here. Oh, Virgin. I don't know if anyone's ever sailed on Virgin Voyages. I was on the Brilliant Lady back in September. We had a tour of that. It was a nice ship. It's adult only. They have like there's no buffet per se. It's kind of all restaurant style meals. They're different than regular cruise lines. They're trying to be a different experience. So they're actually having something on February 16th of 2027. They're doing something that no other cruise line has done before. They're going to have the 4 of their ships in their fleet. They are going to meet out in the ocean, just off the coast between, I think they said between the Bahamas and Cuba. And all 4 ships are going to meet in the ocean, and they're going to have just like a meetup, I guess, a fleet gathering. I think they called it Sisters Gathering or something like that. So that's kind of cool. I have never actually sailed on Virgin. I've just been on the Brilliant Lady for the day and toured around it and kind of tried some of the food and that kind of thing. So um, it is a different ship. They don't have like sun loungers really. They have like almost like day beds around the ship, and they have it's very adult. I will say that it is adult only. Um, so it's just something different. I don't know if anyone sailed on Virgin. So if you have, let me know and maybe you can help out. But um, yeah, it's a different experience for sure. So I do actually have a couple of cruise deals I want to talk about in case anyone was looking at booking. And like I said, if you do want to book anything or you want to reach out for a price or a quote of something, that little QR code at the top of the screen there, you can scan it, brings you right to my Facebook page, or you can look in the description and that will be there as well, the links. And also anything that you want to sail on, it doesn't have to be on my page. You can reach out and say, hey, I want to go on such and such a ship at any point, and I can find you something. So I do have February 21st to the 28th of 2027 on the Breakaway. And I've actually got quite a few clients going that one already. Sailing out of New Orleans, going to Cozumel, Costa Maya, Harvest Caye, and Roatan. And this is going to be a really nice sailing. It's really good ports. Harvest Caye. Now, Harvest Caye is one of the private islands, but it doesn't have the beverage package. It kind of functions as a port. So when you get off onto that island, you are going to have to pay for your beverages and your meals and things. So it just acts just like a port. So with that cruise package, it is $25.04 per person. And that's for a balcony with flights from either Toronto, St. John, or Halifax. And that includes your beverages, your Wi-Fi, and your 3 specialty dining meals. And you can upgrade to the Free at Sea Plus package, like I said, to get the unlimited Wi-Fi and the extra perks if you choose to, and that'll be another $490 per person. So that is an option if you want to. And again, that's February 21st of 2027 out of New Orleans on the Breakaway. And I have another one, February 27th to March 6th of 2027 on the Luna. So the Luna is one of the brand new ships. It's just actually, I think it was just christened recently, actually, or it's this week. So it'll be a brand new ship. And being a travel agent, when we bring group space, they're actually pulling back our group space because it is such a high sought after ship that they're selling very quickly. They're selling out. They need to take the space back from travel agents because they're running out of space. So they're selling really well, the Luna. So it'd be $29.02 a person for the Luna for the 7 days out of the same St. John, Halifax, or Toronto. And I can price them anywhere in Canada or the United States. All my prices are in Canadian dollars. They can be switched over to American if you choose. And I can adjust it to any Canadian airports as well. So $29.02 gives you the full meal deal. Everything, as I said, the last sailing. So February 27th, March 6th on the Luna. So if you wanted to go on that one, let me know. It's selling out quick, like I said. Let's see here. How are the deck chairs made available? Is it always first come, first serve, or excuse me? Yes, it is first come, first serve. You'll see the memes and the little videos on TikTok and Facebook about the chair hogs. People will go out and set their alarm for 5:30 in the morning, go out and put some towels on the chairs and hold them for the day. That's actually a thing. People do that. The crew does their best to try to prevent that, but they fill up very quickly, especially around the main pool deck. That's where you see it mostly. Around the main pool deck fills up very quickly, especially those day beds. They have some like day beds around the pool. So that does fill up quickly. And if you don't get out there quickly, they will fill up with some towels on them. So I usually don't go around the main pool deck. I usually just go somewhere else that's quieter. I find the main pool deck's too loud and busy, but that's just me. But yeah, if you want to get a nice chair on the pool deck, you're going to have to go up there early, and maybe you'll have to put a towel down. You'll have to be a towel hog, maybe. But that might be the only way you can get a chair. So, but yeah. So, does anyone have any other questions? Anything you want to ask me, or is anyone sailing soon? Going on a sailing anywhere? Like I said, I'm going on in May. My husband and I are going on the Prima out of Orlando. We're going to go on Port Canaveral and go to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, and Great Stirrup Cay. So I'm really excited. I've never been on the Prima ship before. So I'm excited to try this class of ship. It's really met a lot of mixed reviews. Some people really enjoy the Prima and some people hate it. I guess the layout is different. And the pool is very, very small. The main pool, which doesn't really affect me. I don't really care if the pool's small. I don't go in the pool very much. I go on a cruise for the sun and the beaches, but that's just me. So, but yeah, I guess I'll end it there. I think we've gone long enough. But like I said, I hope this was informative. I hope you got some information. Thank you for everyone that came and watched. If you want to book anything with me, check me out. The Cruise and Nurse Travel. I'm Ashley Neal, and I'll leave the booking link in the description below. Follow me on my Facebook page. I'll try to do this once a week. I'm going to try to do it either next Sunday or Monday, depending on my work schedule, because like I said, I am a full-time RN. So I will work this in and see how it goes. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys next time.